Hello and welcome to the NW History Podcast. On today's episode, it's just going to be me. I know this is going to be weird for you guys as it hasn't been like this since the first episode. So what are we going to cover that only has me involved? I mean, now it's going to be boring. So basically what we're going to be doing here is this is going to be about the NW current history. All right, so the current news that's going on. I want to have this as an aside because this is easier to produce as you don't need to get a guest, and these episodes would be about 10 minutes long, just covering the stuff that's going on pretty much weekly. And telling you the important stuff that's going on in the community right now, anything interesting, and any of my thoughts, and also updates for future guests on the podcast, and updates for the podcast in general, what's going on. So let's get right into it. Play the music. All right, we're back to NW history. So one of the biggest things that just recently occurred was the match for NANWL. That's North American Napoleonic Wars League, for those of you who don't know. And basically the rundown was the 6TE and the 93rd looked to be the Titans who would go to battle. The leaders of the 6TE starts with Irish and then Yoshi and Maniac. And for the 93rd, it is Papa Bean, Nicole, who is their colonel, and Ramelon. So Papa Bean is a lieutenant, and Ramelon is like the second in command. And so basically, these were the guys who were looking to really hit it hard for NANWL. And as we just saw, it was played on, I think it was last Saturday, so that means like 3 days ago from today, which will let me check what the actual date would be. 3 days ago from today was the 10th. So on March 10th, 2018, we had the battle. And I'm going to make sure you guys know I am coming from a biased perspective. I am biased because I am in the 6TE. Keep that in mind. But basically, so here's what happened. So the 6TE went in, and I can tell you, I went in. It was going to be an intense match. I was super hyped. And then we went at it. And the battle, at first, it looked like it was going to be close. But then the shooting just pummeled the 93rd. And then on top of that, the leading, I believe, was definitely in the favor of the 6TE. This isn't to trigger anyone. This isn't trash talk. But I want to talk about also how the mindsets of the two regiments were, so maybe we could learn something away from it. I think the 93rd had an amazing roster. I think no one can dispute that. I think Nicole did an excellent job of recruiting people and getting people to join his regiment. I think there's no disputing that. And Nicole, you did an awesome job. Keep that in mind. For everybody else who was involved in the regiment, I also think he might have had a hard time. And this is coming from an outside perspective. I don't know too much. This is just my outside look. A lot of the people he recruited were pretty big personalities, so I could imagine when you have like some of those bigger mainlayers, it's hard to be able to get them to all mesh together, especially to get that chemistry between a group so fast, because I think the 93rd just formed, right? So while they have an amazing roster, the players probably don't know how to play together because they haven't done it for a long time. Contrast that with the 6TE. And this is coming from my perspective. When I joined the 6TE, I noticed a regiment who was really focused, and Irish really focused us in on wanting to win NANWL, getting us to practice every day. And we were really motivated and driven to get there. So that means we would fight the group fights. We would go on NA group fighting every single day and practice and train and get there, get to our skill level, and build that chemistry within the group. And I know Irish was on me every day to make sure I got those recruits from the old AF, the regiment that I used to lead. And so it was looking like it was going to be intense, but we practiced so hard every single day, and it paid off. And I can sum it up with a quote like this, and it's this: we don't rise to the level of our expectations, but we fall to the level of our training. Now, I should have quoted that person, but I don't have them on me right now, and I don't want to look it up. So, sorry, can't give them credit. But basically, I think that means, like, if I had to say anything for the 93rd, I think if you guys were around longer and you had more of a time to build up that chemistry and more of that drive, I definitely think you would have had a much better chance at beating the 6TE. But the 6TE definitely put in the training and the hard work, and they took the victory. In terms of other stuff that's been going on in the community, I want to shift it now to the focus. And also, before I leave the whole NANWL match, there's probably a lot of drama and a lot of frustration And I can completely understand that. I think whenever someone loses something like this, it is frustrating. It sucks. But that means you have to focus, get back on your game, and just keep playing. So shifted now. So the 71st has recently reformed, and I'm saying this as the March 12th, 2018, and it's going to look like they're going to be a pretty hard contender once the NR4 merges in them. This is kind of a speculation because I just heard this from someone in the 60E. And if the NR4 merges into the 71st, that'll be quite the regimen to contend with. It'll be interesting to see when that happens because I saw a lot of people coming back on NA group fighting today. I saw APOC, for example. He was with the NR1, I believe. And I saw Jackie Chan, or Daz Mark as he's known. Seeing him on is always a great sight to see, as he is one of those meleeers who's just so much fun to fight. And also a guy with a really nice attitude. Okay, I'm sucking his ego a little bit too much here. Jackie, you know what? You're decent at the game, that's all. Just a noob. Yeah, so continuing from that. APOC, Jackie Chan. So people are coming back to the game. I mean, Cheesy Pants, obviously. And seeing them all coalesce now into the 71st would definitely be a lot of fun as a new scene and a new change comes to the community. Switching on from that, we got the NAPL maybe upcoming after NANWL, and that will further keep the community up to life. Also, Jorge, George, 8th George, was talking about the Twitch Draft League that's coming up. That'll have $500 of the top 30 NW players participating. It'll be live streamed on Twitch. Are you kidding me? That's going to be awesome. Other than that, it's going to be freaking amazing. It's going to have a lot of high production value. It's going to be sick, so make sure you're there for that. Now I'm going to go on a podcast riff for people who care about this podcast and want to know what's happening in the future. So one, there's going to be a forum page for the podcast where everything will be completely in one spot. And Windflower will be making that with the beautiful templates and graphics design behind it because of his great photoshopping. Windflower, shout out to you. I love you. Thank you, man, for helping me out. Future guests on the podcast, I'm going to list some of them off right now. So Asian P from the 3E Volt will be coming up. Hercules TP from the EU community will be coming up. I have in the works Evan Eric, I can't say his name, but his name is Evan. Basically, he was a god tier mailer on the EU community, so he's coming up for all you EUs who listen. Who else is coming up? That is right. We got possibly, not possibly, but Raphael's coming up. And also, I think that will be about it off the top of my head for now. Of course, there will be others still coming because so many people want to get their chance on being on the podcast. And for that, I love you guys so much. I want to get everybody on, but there's only so much I can do, and I have to be interested in your history too. And it's not putting anybody down saying, oh, you suck, but that's how it is. It's just I'm one guy. Although, in other NW news, there's another podcast being started. I don't know if it's a meme or a joke, but Hawkins is taking up the lead, and he's trying to make his own podcast. So, Hawkins, if you're listening right now, I know you're a meme, but I wish you the absolute best. All right, guys, this has been an awesome episode of NW Current History, ? So, peace out and cheers.